Hello, and thank you for listening to episode 4 of the CP Physiques podcast. Today I am joined by Aaron. I'll let Aaron pronounce his surname because I don't think I'll be able to pronounce it. Aaron competed in 2013 in the Arnold Classic with CP, which he won. So I've got him on this podcast just to get a bit more of his insights into bodybuilding, how he got into bodybuilding and things like that. So Aaron, I think we'll first go with how you first got into lifting weights, how you first got into the gym.
It was about 2012. I was still a powerlifter.
Yeah.
And I already did everything you can do in powerlifting. So I was like, okay, let me do something new. Something I was afraid to do.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you transitioned from doing powerlifting. How did you first get into that?
And you will have to go way back. I was about 14, 15 with my father. He got me into weightlifting to make me stronger
Yeah.
because of my disability. So he wanted me to get bigger and stronger. And then when I was about 19, my father passed away. So I was like, okay, let me take what he taught me and do something with it, you know?
Yeah.
My dad was a football player, but it was obvious I will ever be able to play football.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me find something I'll be able to do easily. And powerlifting presented itself. I liked it. I got very good at it.
So did you compete in it?
Yes.
What were your best lifts? Just out of curiosity.
My best lift was definitely deadlifts. Definitely.
I didn't quite catch that there, sorry.
Deadlifts and my heaviest weight in deadlifts was about 345.
245, yeah?
300.
345. Are we talking pounds?
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's strong because in the UK we work in kilograms. I was getting confused. I was like, wow.
I think
So that's about
that would be like
150 kilograms. That's pretty good. That.
I think it was about 125 kilograms.
Yeah. So did you do bench press as well?
Yeah, but it wasn't my best.
Yeah.
It was, I could barely get about 260, 270.
That's still good, man. I mean, I did a bit of powerlifting a couple of years ago. I did a deadlift competition, pulled up 85 kilograms, which is about 180 pounds, I think, 190.
I,
Um, and my
and,
bench was 77.5.
I, we all have something we're good at.
But then my weight was only in pounds was only 145.
That's real good. That's, yeah.
So going into you first getting into bodybuilding, do you think your powerlifting helped?
Oh, yes, it definitely helped because I'm only about 5'4",
Yeah,
and I'm thinking I'm never going to be the biggest guy on stage.
yeah,
Um, I have to bring something to the table to help to stand out. And powerlifting allowed me to bring the thickness.
yeah. I know a couple of guys that I know from my local area, pretty big guys. They are more into the old school sort of classical look. In their off season, they'll train 3 days a week, 5 by 5,
Well,
and then when they're on prep, they'll up at the 6 days a week, splitting up the uh, um, body parts. So they train quite heavy, but for 5 by 5 with quite a bit of volume.
yes, you have to train heavy to get big. We already know that. So,
So what um type of CP do you have, and how does that impact you in the gym?
well, the type of cerebral palsy I have, it's called disability, and it affects my motor skills.
Yeah,
The way I talk, obviously.
I have it in stutter, which sometimes can be quite annoying when you're trying to do it podcast. But yeah,
And this podcast is going to be the best podcast ever.
so in terms of in the gym, is there any exercises or muscle groups that you struggle to train because of your CP?
I will have to say quads,
Yeah,
legs, squats, leg press, hamstring exercises, and because my legs are stiff.
So I'm guessing that you struggle on a lot of exercises to get full range of motion.
Yes. But I was able to squat about 136 kilograms.
That's good. Is that with a bar or a machine or?
Machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to do it with a machine because I don't have any balance of my own.
Join the club. Yeah, I know that feeling. When I did powerlifting, I did try a safety bar squat. You know where you've got the handles here.
Yeah.
Bit better because I've got poor rotator cuffs on my left side, so to get the arm under the bar would just be
My
a
God,
nightmare.
this arm is going to go all the way back.
Yeah. So
I'm like,
so
it takes me about 10 minutes to get started. Did you warm up?
so in terms of when you first started training to now, has the style changed? Have you trained changed?
Well, yes, because I'm training for bodybuilding, rather than powerlifting. And bodybuilding is all about how you contract the muscle,
Yeah,
make a powerlifting, you train
that
for
moving
power.
weight.
Yeah.
So I'm talking more in terms of when you first started bodybuilding in 2012. Is there anything you look back on and you think maybe I should have done this better, maybe I should have done that better?
I didn't think about diet substitution. Oh.
Yeah, um, I'm I'm just to rephrase that. Sorry, I'm talking more in terms of in the gym, lifting weights, the way
Oh,
you
yeah.
program.
Well, I would tell people with disabilities to always use the machines.
Yeah,
It, it's a lot easier on the body.
yeah, I agree there to an extent, especially I think the more severe your CP is, the more you have to use machines. For me, I can get away with some free weights.
And yeah, I use free weights like arms.
But when
Yeah.
you think about we have to recruit the motor neuron patterns to do the rep, a machine you're locked in. So yes, you're not using your core to stabilize. I think as long as you do a little bit more work directly on your core, you can get away with using machines because people criticize machines because you don't engage the core, you're not stabilizing the weight.
Well, yeah.
So so people say the best way to build abs is to do a squat, a deadlift, a bench press. However, I think you can still probably get around that by using machines, but just doing a little bit more work on the core because a lot of people with CP do have weak cores anyway. It's one thing that I hate training abs. I'll leave it till the end of the session, and it's just
The funny thing about that is I never used to train abs.
Yeah,
And the only time I would train abs is when I did deadlifts.
yeah. So,
And now my abs are nice and thick because of the powerlifting.
but that's it. Like,
Yeah,
to a degree, you don't even have to train abs. You can just do the compounds.
but I would advise people to train abs.
Yeah, I would, especially if you're relying a lot on machines.
Why, especially if you try to be aesthetic, you have to train abs.
Yeah,
I see a lot of bodybuilders nowadays look soft in their abs. They're soft.
yeah. So, how often do you train abs? Would it be every session, or would you treat it once a week or twice a week, or?
I train them every time I work out.
Yeah,
Every time I would go to the gym.
the biggest
Oh,
mistake I see is a lot of people will look to who have good abs, but they have good abs because of their genes. So for me, if I was looking to get good abs, I would look and say who had rubbish abs and then has got good abs because they've got poor genetics, so they've had to work hard to get abs.
right.
It it's the same with MCP. There's no point us doing the workout of an IFBB Pro like Phil Heath because he doesn't even have to try hard to grow muscle. Let's be honest. The way some of the IFBB pros train is light. It's not easy. They're not pushing themselves, but their genetics are that good that they don't have to.
But the thing about that is that I have baby pros. They take a whole lot of supplements to bring out the best in their
I
genetic.
I agree with that to an extent, but there are some IFBB pros who are using the, let's say, the extra strong protein, um,
But
who who still have to train hard because their genetics are good, but they're not the elite.
right.
The genetic elite don't have to push themselves in the gym, but people like Dorian Yates had good genetics, but if you think about it, he had to work his absolute backside off in the gym to get
But
what he wanted.
yes, but going back to what you said about genetics, doing against did not have the best genetics at all.
No,
And let's be real.
hard work.
For one, he has small arms compared to his back.
Yeah. On that subject of Yates, so he is a big advocate of training to complete failure. Is that how you train, or do you? So,
Most definitely.
so that would be where I think quite interestingly, that would be where our approaches now slightly differ because I used to train in that style. Have you heard of Trained by JP, Jordan Peters?
I'm not too familiar with that.
So the way they'll train is they'll do a low rep set, so 6 to 8 reps, two failure, and then they'll do a second set of a high rep, 12 to 15. Then they move on to a different exercise.
Okay, yeah.
There's a lot of people training it in that way now, and I used to train in that style, but I found with CP training to failure that often, I just couldn't recover. I was constantly buried 6 feet under. So I tend to go for more sets, but sometimes leave reps in the tank.
So you can way more lean muscle by doing high reps.
I don't do higher reps as such. I just do more sets.
Okay. Yeah, the way I do my workout is the average weight that I will play with is 99 kilograms.
Yeah.
There's the average, and because it's heavy enough to contract the muscle, but light enough so I could get adequate reps.
So don't get me wrong. The way I run my training at the minute in 4-week blocks. So the first week, I'll start with a few sets per muscle, and I'll leave a few in the tank, a few reps. So I'll not push to failure. But on week 4, I do more sets. So I increase the sets each week and the weight. And on week 4, I train to fail. I do a lot of sets to failure, but it's just 1 week, and then I'll deload. So for me, I find that not going to failure every session helps my recovery, because when I used to go to failure every session, obviously CP is linked to the CNS, central nervous system. So it's already, you might say, impaired. However, I think if I was to ever do the failure every session approach, I would have to reduce my sets to maybe 1 per exercise.
Right.
So I train every muscle group 2 or 3 times a week. So I'd have to reduce how often I train the muscle, if that makes sense.
It does, because
So maybe like a bro split, for instance, or having more rest days. So it's something worth to think about. But in my argument, if you're only doing 1 set with CP, our execution isn't 100% there, if that makes sense. So if we do 10 reps here, are we going to get 10 contractions? Probably not.
I would say the first 5, maybe 6 reps are quality reps.
So there's an argument to say by doing more sets, you're going to make sure you get in enough contractions.
Yes, that's what I try to focus on. Because again, I'm not that big. I'm only 5'4".
Same as me.
if I can make my physique pop, that would make me stand out against
Yeah.
somebody that's 5'10", 5'11", who is naturally bigger than I am, structurally bigger than I am.
So, because of your CP, is there any muscle groups that you train more often than others?
My back,
Yeah. Do you think your back is the weakest part, or?
it's my strongest part.
So for me with CP, obviously my CP affects my left side. One thing that I've considered and tried in the past is doing more volume on that side than the right. Is your CP across all four limbs?
Um,
All legs and arms, yeah?
not all four. I'm left-handed, but my right hand is limited.
So my theory would be, just to feed, it's just me thinking there, by doing more volume on that side, because it's your weaker side, so treating CP like you would weaker muscle groups. So if someone has a weaker chest, they'll train chest more often and they'll not train the strong part as often, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense because it's your better half.
So what would, to bring up a weak part, you prioritize that and train it more often. So my theory for people with CP, so say for me, if I train my right side once a week, but my left side twice a week, that might allow my left side to catch up a little bit.
Right, but in my case, I do less weight on my weaker side because if I go the same way as my left, I will not be able to control the weight.
So what I would say is, the way you're doing that, this is just my opinion, your left side is still growing, so the difference is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Instead, match the weight and reps of your weak side. So if you can only lift X amount of weight on your weak side, do the same on your strong side. It might be easy for your strong side, but that'll let your weak side catch up.
Right, because the game of bodybuilding is not a proportion.
Yeah. So I could lift loads of weight with this arm, but it would just get bigger. So I lift what I can lift on my left side to my right. I match it, so my left side can catch up. My right side might feel like I haven't trained, but my left side will feel fatigued and it'll catch up.
Let's see, when I used to work out, I used to do a lot of rows, a lot of cable rows,
Yeah.
a lot of lat pull downs on the right side, and because it was asymmetrical,
Yeah.
but you really couldn't tell unless you really look at it.
So do you think So your right side's weaker. Do you think there's an visual difference in the muscle between each side?
No, because this is the crazy part. My right arm is bigger than my left arm.
Is that much bigger or just a little bit?
It's about, I would say, a half inch to an inch bigger.
Yeah. So going on a slightly different topic now. When you first got into bodybuilding, did you have a coach?
Yes, his name is Brian. I used to live in Peoria, Arizona, before I moved to Michigan, which is halfway across the country.
Yeah.
But he was a powerlifter as well. So we already had a game plan going into my first competition because here I was still a rookie coming straight from powerlifting to 221 pounds at 5'4".
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. And it only took me about 2 months to prepare.
So what was your training split?
My training, mostly free weight, bench press.
So I mean, like, what did you have a set like Monday train this, Tuesday train that, Wednesday train?
Uh, I train Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
So did you train every muscle group Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
Well, Monday, we train the major muscle groups like chest, back. Wednesday, we train minor muscles like bicep, triceps,
Yeah, delts.
yeah. And Friday was leg day.
Yeah, so have you ever toyed with training muscle groups more often or?
I tried that, but I think I should do better training by myself.
Yeah.
Because when I first began, I was training with strongmen.
So do you think the more weight you lift, the less often you can train that muscle?
Of course, because the faster it gets fatigued.
Yeah. So when you first got into bodybuilding, who did you look up to? Who was your idol? Be it IFBB or was it someone with CP or?
I don't have an idol, but I did have a few bodybuilders that I looked to. One was obviously Ronnie Cooper.
Yeah, Ronnie. I listened. I listened. He was on a podcast last month
Yeah.
with Joe Rogan.
Yeah. I
Did you listen
got
to
it.
it?
Yeah.
I don't believe he was 0.3% body fat.
No. It's impossible for a human being to get that lean.
I think the good thing about Ronnie is he didn't think about it. He was just taught what to do and done it. He wasn't
Yeah.
he wasn't a thinker about how things work. He just if he was taught to do something, he done it.
That's why you have cruises.
Like it's like he was stupid, but that actually helped him to get better.
He had the body, but he had somebody telling him
Yeah.
how to bring the physique out.
So I think someone else taught him he was 0.3%, but 0.3%, and he just believed it.
And that's the natural. I give him maybe 6% of 5 for the off season, maybe more than that. You know,
Yeah,
you have to have body fat oil to survive.
well, that's it. Even 3% in the off season is still too low.
And he's there about 3% of the off season. Nah.
I mean, most off season bodybuilders are at least 10.
And the off season is about 15% body fat.
So, how many shows have you done?
Therefore, I'll be at one here, one there.
Have you done a lot of shows?
I only could be twice, really.
Twice.
Yeah. I was going to compete more, but a lot of personal stuff got in the way.
Yeah. So, have in terms of stage weight, what did you weigh on stage?
I weighed 199 pounds.
That's good, man, for 5'4", same height as me.
And then my dad was a big guy and stuff.
Were you in full stage condition, or was there any more to come off? Or
If I could be real with you, I could have loved a little bit more water weight.
yeah, so I think because we've been on for quite a while now, and I'm aware of the time zone difference and how late it is where you are. We'll cover one more thing in terms of your nutrition approach. How do you approach nutrition? Is it a meal plan, or for me, I track macros, so I eat pretty flexibly as long as I hit the macros. What's your nutritional setup like?
Well, this might be surprising, but I try to stay away from meat
Yeah,
because one, I'm a Hebrew
yeah,
and we don't like eating meat like that.
So you don't eat meat at all, or do you eat it occasionally, or?
I try not to ever, but sometimes I slip up and eat it time to time. I'm not perfect.
So would you say you're more of a high carb, high fat, or?
High carb.
Yeah, you've got to love the carbs.
And right now I'm on an oatmeal diet.
Yeah,
Right now I'm actually eating a big bowl of oatmeal right now.
you've got to love oatmeal. So for me, I came away from the whole clean eating um, because it sort of creates a bit of a bad relationship with food. The whole cheat meal once a week turns into binge eating, and so for me, I try and eat pretty flexibly. I still eat pretty well, but
Yeah.
I'll fit the odd thing here or there into my diet, protein bars. I used to have Cocoa Pops post workout in my mass. I I was on 600 grams of carbs a day, so that meant I had all my carbs pre and post workout.
Dude,
So I had half a box of Cocoa Pops post workout. That was hard.
I keep a box of cereal right by my bed.
So do you see? Would you say you have to eat a lot?
Well, that's the biggest obstacle I have because I'm a pretty big guy. So
Yeah.
I have to eat a little bit more than regular people do.
So I'm guessing you don't really have any knowledge on what your calories are, like how many calories a day you eat, or
If I could put a number on it, anywhere between 11 and 1600 calories.
per day. That's
Yeah.
not a lot, but I suppose when you think about it, if you're
I
sitting down a lot,
only I only once, maybe twice a day.
was that even when you were competing?
Way back then, I was under the impression that you had to eat every hour on the hour.
Yeah, so I eat 5 meals a day, but I eat
I can see,
1700 to
I can
1800
see,
calories.
yeah. I've been seeing your pictures, the way you handle the science class. I can see the thickness there. But for me, I realize right now, every gym around me is still closed. And so I haven't worked out in about 4 months now.
Yeah, is that due to lockdown?
Yeah, but I've been thinking all the heavyweights I lifted prior to that can now be displayed, and because the new diet I'm on now,
Yeah,
I get to lean out and get a little bit more consistent.
that's it. It's all about consistency. When lockdown first started, I had a 4 kilogram kettlebell plus my own body weight, and my motivation to train, even though I'm a online coach, personal trainer, was so low. I was just doing the least I could to maintain my muscle.
Yeah, man, you will have to be creative, especially now.
So now I
Everything's so
use
mixed up.
resistance bands.
No, I'm gonna tell you what I do. And you probably will believe me. I do posing practice for up to 2 to 3 hours a day.
Yeah,
And that's how I do cardio.
that's it. There's a lot of so I follow a lot of coaches, a, a lot of prep coaches, which is where I'm wanting to go down. I've got a couple of guys next year that want prepped next year, so I'm prepping a couple of people next year. And there's a lot of the coaches that I follow are quite uh, science based, but based on evidence. They're not the typical bro, you know what I mean? So they'll train muscle groups more often and things like that. But anyway, they've found that pushing cardio too much in the off season or steps, the legs get flat, and they are actually in favor of pausing more often, using that as a form of burning calories.
Well, I use it for that.
So,
Right now,
do you find that your CP affects your pausing much?
oh yeah, definitely, that's the fun. And that's the fun of it.
Yeah, it takes more
Okay,
practice.
it's like, how can I pose the most effectively with cerebral palsy and display my physique to its
Yeah.
full.
So I think we'll wrap things up there because I'm aware that time's getting on, and it's probably what time's it where you are now?
And a quarter to three.
Wow. So a big thank you for staying up this late to come on.
Oh, can I say something
Yeah,
about the actual show?
yeah.
It was over 200 competitors.
Was that all against people with CP?
And no normal people as well.
So what class were you in? A class with people with CP or?
I competed against both disabled and able bodied. I think the able bodied put down was more for fun,
Yeah,
but anyway, in my mind, I was like, I'm about to blow the sky away. And because I came on stage looking back at it now, I was carry too much water on stage.
Yeah. So was that the show you won?
Yes, funny enough, I was the biggest. I guess that's the reason I won. The other guys were more consistent, but size-wise,
Yeah.
it's like comparing Big Ramy to William Black.
Yeah. So
That's the way it was.
last question, who would you say your favourite current competitor is in the IFBB?
My favorite competitor had to be John Rogan.
Has to be who, sorry?
John Rogan. In 2018, Mr. Olympia. John Rogan.
Ah, yeah. Mine is
How
probably Chris Bumstead.
you going
Classic.
classic physique, okay? My favorite classic physique has to be I forgot his name, but I think Chris Bumstead beat him.
What is your favourite class to watch? Men's Physique Classic, 212, Open.
Of course, it will be open because that's the biggest class.
Yeah.
But my favorite has to be classic because I consider myself to be a classic bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Because the way I look, I don't look like an open competitor.
Yeah. So I think we'll wrap things up there. Like I said, a huge thank you for coming on. Big thank you to everyone who's listened to this podcast. Where can they check you out on Instagram? What's your Instagram name?
And my Instagram is Hebrew Muscle. I post almost every day. Um, I love to talk about bodybuilding and fitness in general.
Cool. So to anyone listening, you can find me on Instagram at CP_physiques. If you're listening to this close to the time of it being produced, I do have about 5 more spaces open up for online coaching. So please feel free to give me a message. Big thank you for listening.